Okay, folks, July 1969, the Rolling Stones put out that great single, Honky Tonk Woman, which went number one in July 1969 and August of that year. But of course, right at the end of the year, December the 5th of that year, they came out with this album, Let It Bleed. And of course, I haven't been doing my Rolling Stone reviews in a while, so here we go. And I just love the back too, right? Doesn't that pretty much, for the era, I just love that. So, it's like the master tape right there, and you got the cake and the, tire for a car, and the record player. Like it's played an old 1920s, record player, and the back it's all shattered. Um, so yeah, this was released December the 5th in 1969. I do gotta say the only disappointing thing and the really sad thing is that at this time, right at the time that they were recording this album, which was in very late 1968 into early 69, Brian Jones was kind of, he wasn't really reliable anymore. He wasn't really being a key Stones musician. He's been playing throughout all the albums until this point where, he started becoming a little bit more of a, he's really getting into drugs a lot, going around being with Keith's ex-girlfriend, and really a lot of stuff really, really, I felt sorry for Brian Jones. He was an excellent musician. And for the two songs that he contributed in this album, I think he really does a fine job here. He only does two songs on here. I believe he does Midnight Rambler. He does Congos in Midnight Rambler, and such as Auto Harp and You Got the Silver, which was the Keith Richards song. So yeah, that's the only sad and really disappointing thing about this time period in late 68, early 69, where he wasn't really being that, he wasn't contributing as often. And I think they were being a little bit, he wasn't being that reliable. And so they fired him May of 1969 to bring old Mick Taylor. So we got two of the Micks here, Mick and Mick Taylor. Mick Taylor, he's an excellent guitarist. And I mean, during this beginning here of him doing Let It Bleed, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I just love the way he kind of plays his guitar, and he does really, really well. So, so this album was recorded November of 68, and November of 69. So we go from November 68 all the way to November 69. Was recorded in Olympic Studios in London, and then also Electrica and Sunset in Los Angeles. And this was the second album produced by Jimmy Miller. This was the 8th album in the UK, went number 1 and went platinum. In the US was the 10th album, and it only went to number 3 and went double platinum. So even though the UK Let It Bleed went number 1, but over here we got double platinum, but it went to number 3. Okay, Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. They ranked this at number 32. Could have been a little bit more higher, but hey, whatever. So Brian Jones officially died July the 3rd of 1969 in his pool in his home in Hartfield in East Sussex. So, once again, it's kind of sad to think about it, But this is when they started getting a lot of people in here, a lot of people playing, a lot of different instruments and stuff. And a whole bunch of, whatever. Well, let's just talk about it here. Mick Jagger, he plays great harmonica on Gimme Shelter. He also does a really fantastic bluesy harmonica as well on Midnight Rambler. And this was also the first time that he plays acoustic, opening acoustic for You Can't Always Get What You Want, which is which I could definitely tell because he's very. I feel like he's a little bit more melodic in his playing. We also have Keith Richards here doing acoustic. tracks such as Love in Vain, Country Honk, um, Let It Bleed. Let's see here. Let It Bleed. You Got the Silver, and of course the last track. You Can't Always Get What You Want. He also does the slide guitar, great sliding opening on Love in Vain. Or not Love in Vain. Live With Me. Right? Is that the right one? Oh no, excuse me. Love in Vain. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, excellent. He does very well on that. And he does, however, play bass on Live With Me. So there you go. So yeah, so throughout most of the tracks, he does a lot of the sliding, electric sliding there. And once again, Brian only contributed to 2 songs on here. And then we get bass for Bill Wyman. Yeah, the majority of the tracks, except Live With Me. We also have auto harp. He does it on Let It Bleed, and such as vibraphone on Monkey Man. Charlie Watts does the majority of all the drumming, of course, but the last track, he does not do the drums. Apparently, the producer of the album, Jimmy Miller, does the drumming on here, which I can tell that doesn't sound like Charlie, you know. Every time I hear that song, it sounds, I can definitely tell the drums. I always thought that was him, but it's kind of strange that it was, Jimmy Miller playing it. So it was quite interesting. And then, of course, we get the debut of Mick Taylor, right? Doing slide guitar on Honky Tonk, or Country Honk. There you go. And electric on Live With Me. And of course, here we go. The list of people that play on here, including Ian Stewart. He does Let It Bleed. Beautiful, beautiful piano on Let It Bleed. Nicky Hopkins does contribute once again, playing piano. And wonderful organ on You Got the Silver. Beautiful. I also love the fiddle. It's played by Brian Berlin, right? I believe that's what his name is, on Country Honk. Mary Clayton sings on Gimme Shelter. Ry Cooder, I've heard that name. He plays beautiful mandolin on Love in Vain. And then here's another key player that's going to be playing the saxophone for a couple of their albums, their next albums. He does saxophone on Live With Me, and that's Bobby Keys. So that name will pop up in the next maybe 3 albums or whatever. And of course, you can't go wrong with good old Leon Russell. He does the arrangement, the piano and horn arrangement on Live With Me. Great, just absolutely marvelous. I love that. And then Jack Nietzsche comes back here doing choral arrangements on You Can't Always Get What You Want, such as Al Cooper playing piano, organ, and that beautiful French horn I hear a little bit on that song. Rocky Dijon, I believe his name, Dijon. He has percussion on You Can't Always Get What You Want. And then the choir in the background was done by the London Bach. So there you go, London Bach Choir. So yeah, let's just go and just talk about this album. I think to me, this album is not as bad as Beggar's Banquet. I always thought Beggar's Banquet was a little bit better. Maybe the production here on this album is fantastic. Of course, every single their album, every album that they had ever done, the production's always just pristine. But this one is a little bit different, you know. Some of the songs I like, some of the songs, you know, but it's still superb. I still love it. The lyrics are absolutely, once again, I think Mick Jagger's really notching up the lyrics a little bit in a lot of the songs. But what the hell, let's just get with it here. We start off with Gimme Shelter. What a great opening. You know, it's got a weird, but it's got a sense of feel, you know, when you hear that great electric guitar done by Keith Richards. It's really great, you know. Oh man, I'm gonna fade away. Oh, children, is this a shot away? Is this a shot away? It's just, the lyrics are just absolutely just for the time, you know, absolutely great. It was recorded on February the 23rd and November the 2nd of '69. Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Songs, they ranked this at number 13. So that's good, you know. It's right up there, I guess so. This is a very memorable song. You know, I hear it all the time. You know, it's just sometimes I get a little bit sick. Well, not sick, but sometimes I enjoy a little bit more. You know, um, yeah. So great electric done by Keith here. Really, really excellent. And those drums are just so kick ass. Like just the pounding rhythm of the drumming done by Charlie is just so on time, so right there. You know what I mean? Um, Bill's excellent bass kind of melodically makes the song even more just like really just a fantastic, just not just a song, but a fantastic just structured song overall. You know, and I think it's just great. You know, it's just absolutely just one of those songs that you may probably think to yourself, oh, you know, they play this song all the time, you know, but it's still a great song. Whatever. Gimme Shelter. Sometimes I tend not to skip it, but it's still a great song, right? Then we get the next song, Love in Vain. Oh, what a great one. This was a Robert Johnson song, but I believe Mick Jagger had rearranged the lyrics and stuff, a different, you know, whatever, making up his own, you know, you know, his own spin to the song. It was recorded May of 1969. This is a very nice, slow country ballad. With tender vocals by Mick. I think he does excellent here with the vocals. Acoustic opening, very great opening acoustic by Keith. I think he's always great with that. This sounds very much like what they're doing at this point right now, leading up to, you know, Sticky Fingers and Exile. They'll be doing a lot of these country ballads sort of feels, if you will, you know, whatever. But I love Charlie's this snare, really, really, boom. It almost has like the boom. Like has like almost a kind of like a really cool, you know, just country flavor drumming into that, you know, into the mix there. Right at the last stanza, you know, right towards kind of like where the song's gonna kind of come in a little bit. I do love the sliding too by Keith. That's excellent. Love it. Definitely a whole bunch of that on this album. Accompanies to that wonderful, beautiful mandolin played by Ry Cooder. Excellent. I just love that. Then you get like a really slide echo at the end. It's so great. Just what a great way just to end that song. Just perfect. Love in Vain. Excellent. So we got Gimme Shelter, Love in Vain. Then we get Country Honk, which sometimes, you know, but it's still good. Okay, this was recorded June and October of '69, but of course the well-known version was recorded in July of '69, which of course Mick Taylor plays on. I think that was one of the first songs he actually played on, I believe, for the band. You know, Honky Tonk Woman. This is basically just a stripped version, basically you know, and you can definitely tell it's such a atmospherical song. You know, it's got sort of the ambient, sort of like the waves, and you got like cars honking. So it's kind of like almost they're out on a beach, but it's like it's, you know, they're kind of like. I can probably picture in my mind like they're probably living in like this little house, like this little beach house, and the road's literally right next to the house, and it just sounds like they're in their front porch, just blazing away. I think it's just excellent. What a great groove! I just love it. You know, I got a jar in Jackson. Like I just love mixed vocals. Like it's just such a old, trying to be like a bluesy, like kind of what he was doing the previous album, Beggars, but he's kind of making it like hey, I got it down packed here, and I'm gonna do it with this one. Really excellent fiddle by Brian Berlin. Never heard of his name. You know, give me the honky tonk blues. It's really great. You know, it's basically the Honky Tonk Woman, basically, but it's stripped down slower, you see. And of course, the car honking at the end, which leading right into another really good one, and that's Live With Me. This was recorded May the 24th of 1969. This was probably recorded in LA probably. But anyways, thumping bass. What a great opening. I don't know. I feel like the Rolling Stones never opened with something like this. And this is done by Keith Richards. I can definitely tell, like that thumping boom, 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 boom. It's got an excellent, really great bass played by, low tempo bass played by Keith. It's a nice, cool country rocker, as I put it on here. Once again, really great. Almost has like some sort of swing to it, if you will. And of course we get sparse saxophone by Bobby Keys. He's really great. You know, you can hear a little bit of the flaring and the sparseness, but it goes right into his solo, which is excellent, great. You know, like I said, he becomes a bigger role in their next couple of albums. Really nice electric too as well by Mick Taylor. This is sort of, you know, his once again, I guess this is sort of the first song that he's contributing here, and it sounds excellent. And Leon Russell does the arrangement on this song as well, for a couple of the, you know, whatever. And the lyrics too are just great. You know, they just stick to your head, and you're like, man, just what a great one. And then we get the last track, side one. We get "Let It Bleed." What a great one. This was recorded March the 9th and June the 10th in 1969. We all need someone to lean on. But if you want to bleed, you can bleed on me. It's like he says all these different things. Like if you want to cream, you can cream on me. Like all that, you know. Typical Mick, you know. Beautiful sliding intro by Keith Richards. Of course, he has that done packed. So yeah, it starts with that, and then the tape kind of rolls, and it gets into the song. You know, Keith's doing his acoustic bit here, and we get Ian Stewart here. You can definitely hear him for sure. He's doing the piano, and it's really great. And I feel like this one he shines a little bit more on here. I call this one a very boogie woogie tempo pop song. So yeah, if you want to bleed, you can bleed on me. It's really just excellent choice of words, ending with each stanza, and it's just so great. That last verse, and it's just like, man, like you just enjoy every bit of it. So what a great first side, you know. Then we get to side two. Of course, everyone knows these songs. Side two starts off with the amazing Midnight Rambler. Oh my God. That excellent bluesy harmonica done by Mick Jagger. Excellent. Oh my God, what a great one. I just love, who gonna catch the Midnight Rambler? Just, oh my God, so great. And if you catch the Midnight Rambler, so like, ooh, it's almost like mysterious, you know. It's definitely a great highlight on here. And of course, Brian Jones plays congas on the song, of course, because this was like an earlier track. I believe this was recorded during the earlier sessions for this album, I believe. So I just love it. And what a great thing about this song is that it almost has three different sections. So you got like the first song where it almost has like a slow groove, and then it kind of goes into this really rockish sort of almost gospel-esque sort of feel, and then it just goes right into that sort of first verse during the opening, and it's just so great. Charlie, just a powerful drumming on here. It becomes almost like a jam, sort of, if you will, but it's just excellent. I love the live version. I love the Get Your Yayas. It's so great. Oh my God, it's fantastic. But who doesn't love this song? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Then we get the next song, and this is Keith Richards. This is his very first lead vocal here. We got a co-lead on, you know, Salt of the Earth on the previous album, and he also did co-lead on Something Happened to Me Yesterday from Between the Buttons. But this is such a great song. Once again, this was recorded early 1969. and it kind of transitions over. So kind of towards the end, we get a nice transition into this great, great ballad song done by Keith. You know, you got the silver, you got the gold, but baby, you know. um, like I said, it's a country ballad. Very nice, pleasant vocals by Keith. I love like Keith's vocals on his songs. And Nicky Hopkins does a great, excellent organ. He does a beautiful organ on this song. Um, and it kind of paces itself a little bit, but it gets right into that. It really kicks in. It starts to become a little bit of a rocker, but then, you know, kind of towards the end, it gets a little bit, you know, into that soft or into that slow groove. And Keith just makes the song, man. He just absolutely kicks ass. And you know what? I almost forgot the last verse of Midnight Rambler is excellent. I don't know if I had mentioned, well, probably haven't, but it's like, man, Mick says, like, I'm gonna stick this knife in your throat and it's gonna hurt. Like, oh man. I feel like some of these lyrics are just so great. You know, it just almost stabs you a little bit. Like, really great. Then we get the next song. Oh man. What another great one. This is Monkey Man. Oh my God, what a great song. This was recorded April 69. It almost has a Motown feel, like sort of the beginning of the song. It almost sounds like maybe a Marvin Gaye song or whatever, but it gets right into it, man. It gets right into that amazing butt kicking rocker that it is, you know, country rocker. Man, you be your monkey man, but you can be my monkey woman. Just you know, I love the lyrics such as, you know, I'm like a cold Italian pizza, you know, you're my lemon squeezer, you know. This is fantastic. I love, once again, everyone's doing a great job here. It seems everyone's firing at all cylinders here. I love Keith's just amazing riffing. Charlie's really just I think his drumming is perfection on this album, and as always, it's so great. So I'm trying to remember here. Monkey Man. We get vibraphone, which I hear a little bit on this song. This is done by Bill. Bill Wyman does it. And of course we get sliding done by Keith here. This is just another man. It's just another butt kicker song. It's just excellent. Everything about it. You got piano too on here as well by Nicky Hopkins. Oh man, he does great. God, Nicky Hopkins, isn't he great? He's such a great piano player anyways. But it's just fantastic. Monkey Man. Then we get the last song on here, which of course everybody knows, right? You can't always get what you want. This was the B-side to Honky Tonk Woman. This was recorded November the 16th and the 17th of 69. Or I believe 68. I'm not sure if it was 68 or 69. It was recorded in London, Olympic. But this became a single in 1973. And it went to number 42 in the United States. So there you go. Just a little history on that. This is a song I tend to be torn between. I don't know if I really think this song is overrated, overplayed, or I don't know if this song is just so ingenious, just so worth it to listen to all the time. And I'm kind of torn between that, you know, so I'm kind of in the middle with this. But we got an excellent opening acoustic done by Mick Jagger. This is his first time playing acoustic on any album. And it's just great, man. It's fantastic. You know, then it just gets right into that gospel feel, which was done by the London Bach Choir. So it has a little bit of a rocking, like a gospel feel a little bit here. So Jack Nietzsche does the choral arrangements on the song. Al Cooper, he plays that piano, which I do here as well, and organ on the song. And he does a little bit of that French horn, which I can definitely hear a little bit on the song. Rocky Dijon plays percussion on here. And we do not get Charlie, unfortunately. We get Jimmy Miller playing on here. So, so it's nice. Like I can kind of hear the difference between him and Jimmy a little bit. But this is just a song, a Rolling Stone staple. You know, just like "Gimme Shelter." It feels like both of these songs not only just started off with a classic, but you ended off with a classic. Um, it gets a little bit redundant, a little bit repetitive. You can't always get what you want. We try sometimes. You might as well. You get what you need. Oh yeah, just like, oh man, I think Mick really does. He just lets it out, man. Just it's great. And and yeah, of course, who doesn't love Let It Bleed? Even though it's not really, I can't really say it's better than Beggars, but I think this is still a great album, no doubt about it. It's kind of leading into, what they're going to be doing with Brown Sugar and all that, and Wild Horses. So they're going to start doing a lot of the balladry, a lot of just the straight up, just rockers, and really being a little bit more. The classic period, sort of their classic sound, you know what I mean? But anyways, what a great album. I think this is still a great album to me, But this is it. This was their last album in the 60s. So we get to 1970. They come out with their first real live album, which was Get Your Ya-Ya's Out in September of 70, which was, I believe, and also was, I think, the very last album to be featured on London Records until they finally come out with that great label, right? The one with the tongue, in 1971 when they come out with Sticky Fingers. And that's going to be my next album. Man, Rolling Stones, man, the greatest rock band of all time. What can I say? Right? And we get to the classic 70s albums. Jimmy Miller. Of course, folks. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.